Hello, lovies. Lovey, lovey, lovey. It's Jonesy. I miss you guys so much. Welcome. I just have to breathe. It's been a long, long time. 12 years. For Philly, I think it's been 10. But I've missed you. And a lot of things have happened, but I was never quite ready to come back. And I appreciate all the emails and all the Facebooks and all the where are you? We need you back. Come back to radio. I wasn't ready. A lot went on in my life when I left that fateful day in June of 2008. I think it was June. I drink too much. Anyway, um, which we'll get to because that's what this is about, catching up. And so part of that catching up was getting back together with my crew. And I'm going to tell you how this happened because it still blows my mind. I was not expecting. I have not spoken to these people in about since we left that studio that day. We hadn't talked. And then DJ Envy's wife, Gia, Envy from the Breakfast Club, you guys know him. He wakes you up. She was on a show called Behind Every Man. And I happened to be watching the show. And my girlfriend was watching it, but she was further into the show, into the program than I was. And she called and was like, "Oh my God, I had no idea." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "I didn't grow up here. So I didn't know you did all these things." So I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Are you watching Behind Every Man?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, you must need to fast forward." And I see Envy's wife, Gia, gorgeous as ever. And she starts talking about Envy's journey and how he got his start in radio. And she says the most profound thing that God knows I needed to hear, that Envy got his start and a lot of his success is because I gave him a shot on my morning show. And everybody knows that Envy has a hell of a work ethic. So like I was for her to say that and to recognize that, which is something that I feel like I haven't gotten. I've sat on the sidelines and watched people uh, be inspired by the things we used to do on Miss Jones in the Morning and get props, get TV shows, just get paid. And, I just had to sit still and say, God has a plan. But when Gia said that day, it made me say that there's love, because if the wife is saying this, that means that's how the household feels, because the wife doesn't go against the husband. This is all I'm saying in my head. There's obviously been a discussion, and that's love. So get off your shit and reach out, because there was also things in that documentary, that show Behind Every Man, that she discussed that Envy went through. And as like a big sister to him, I felt away. So I reached out to him after 12 years of not seeing him, not talking to him. And I just said, I just want to thank you and your wife for saying those things, because no one's acknowledged me. No one's like, I needed to hear it. And I'm so glad that you made it to the other side of your trials. And as soon as I hit send, Envy texted right back and was like, "You don't understand. I miss you." And we started talking, and I said, "Stop crying, because by this time I'm in tears." And I'm like, "I have an idea." He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "I want to do a reunion show." And he's like, "A reunion show? Did you talk to everybody?" And I don't know if I had or if I hadn't, but he was all in. And so I knew I needed that for my spirit. And I knew I felt like he wanted to do it as well. And so we put the band back together. We made the calls. We got everybody that helped make the magic happen to the first go round. So, ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, welcome to the reunion of the Miss Jones Morning Show.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let me just say this. I want to start this off. You know, you hear this all the time, but let me just be clear. Miss Jones is the first black woman with her own morning show, not an add-on, not a trio, not an addition to, not she was the first person her name on the marquee, like Miss Jones in the morning. And
Mm-hmm.
me and Michael Shawn was there as well. But she was the name on that marquee, the first black woman to host her own show. And she gave a lot of people opportunities. Like if it wasn't for Miss Jones, I wouldn't be there. I mean, they tried to fire me like 3 times, but we'll talk about that later. Me, Mike Shawn, they tried to fire Mike Shawn a couple of times. You got Ashley Larry, who is Donnell Rawlins, who was Ashley Larry back then. You had Stephen A. Smith, who got a
Yeah.
shot and a chance before he became super duper big. He was on the show. You had Todd Lynn, comedian, and a host of others that came through. I mean, it's funny, you know, I'm watching Love and Hip Hop with my wife, and I see Dr. Jeff, and I'm like, he got his start from the Miss Jones in the Morning show. I mean, it's so many people that got an opportunity and got, I mean, Trey Songs. If
Mm.
it wasn't for Miss Jones riding with Trey and really taking his record and playing it every day when she wasn't supposed to and doing boat rides and having to perform, you wouldn't have Trey. What's his name? Robin. What's his name?
Robin
Robin
Thicke.
Thicke.
Robin
Robin
Thicke.
Thicke.
Yeah.
Robin
Yeah.
Robin Thicke wasn't even supposed to be on our show. Miss Jones seen him in the hall looking all down and was like, "That looks like Alan Thicke's. Is that Alan Thicke's son? Bring him in. Oh, he got a
Yup.
guitar with him or a piano? Bring him in." And let him perform and started supporting this young man, and his record took off. But she was the first one to support him, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
host of others. So I just want to say, you know, when you called, and I was like, there should be no reason why Jones shouldn't be on there. You have influenced so many people, including myself. Like I tell everybody all the time, watching you work is like watching, and I'm not just saying that because she's here, because I wouldn't have to, but it's like watching a master at work, right? You know, you don't really see too many masters at time, right? When and you look at sports, you could say Michael Jordan is a master. You could say, you know, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant is a master. When you look at producers, you could say Timbaland's a master. But when it comes to radio, and not just hard work, because everybody can work hard, not just the opportunity. Everybody, a lot of people get opportunities sometimes, but the
Mm-hmm.
way the talent works, I tell everybody this time, Miss Jones can see a grasshopper and make a topic about a grasshopper where people are passionate and mad about what she said about grasshoppers. And you don't get that too many times from people. And that's something that I was able to take with me. And I'm like, that's things that people need. And Miss Jones doesn't hold her tongue. She doesn't give a fuck. She does not care. And one thing I would say with that show, and we were family, right? And we fucked up many a times, but
Mm-hmm.
never to the outside person. There's been so many times where Jones has said some shit to curse somebody out, and then when we got back in the room, she'd be like, "Envy, you know you fucked up, right?" And I'd be like, "You just have my back." She was like, "Yeah, I always have your back, but you fucked up." And the same with me and Michael Shawn with her. I mean, there's times where the boss come in and be like, "Where's Jones?" We'd be like, "She's feeling sick today. She's not coming in." Where call and be like, "Yo, Jones is at the casino winning big right now. I just want to tell y'all." You know, but we were family, and there's no way that anybody ever would know that, you know. And I just want to see my sister be where she's supposed to be. And there's a lot of other people that are doing things that don't deserve it. And I'll say it not because of talent, because of that attitude. But Jones is a person that she needs her flowers because she's created a lot, she's dealt with a lot, and I just want her story to be told.
And I gotta co-sign everywhere. I gotta co-sign the brilliance that you showed doing radio. And when I was with you, I didn't notice. I didn't really realize you would put me through a boot camp. I don't even know you did it on purpose. It was just what you wanted. You needed a certain level. So when Emmy's talking about the grasshopper, I had to learn that if you want to talk about a grasshopper, I better have the top 5 reasons why that damn grasshopper is fucking funny, like real quick. And and it was pressure, but it changed my whole strategy. It changed my whole skill set. I even took that skill set and added it to my comedy, because the thing was of not us not like writing things out and sitting in the office and saying, this is what we're gonna do on Monday and this is what we're gonna do on Tuesday. No, life is what we're gonna do on Monday and life is what we're gonna talk about on Tuesday. And I realized all the content is in front of you. Your opinion on something is based on what you're going through in life. So you got to bring that out on the microphone. So whatever you were going through, And that's what I really learned. If you're going through something and you're really going to do this radio thing, you better let your audience know what you're going through.
And there's no sucker issue. See, and that's one last thing I want to say.
Yep.
Back then, it was real. Like when I look at the old videos, and I'm not comparing, but when I look at the old videos of Michael Jordan, they'd be like, "Yo, Michael Jordan used to be hard on the players, and he used to shove the players around." It wasn't because he was bullying; it's because he wanted the best out of his team. That was Jones. She wanted the best out of the team. She was going to put you on the spot. She was, and this is before when we had texting and we was texting back and forth. She would write you a letter like, "You got 30 seconds to come up with this," and pass the letter on. And you better have it, because if not, she gonna get in your ass. But that's what made us better every single day. Nowadays, you write a letter to somebody, they go into human resources. But back then, it was,
Yes.
I'm gonna make my team better, and that's what she did.
No, that's the realest thing. You had to have thick skin up in there. And the funny thing is, you could get cursed out. You could get cursed out for real. And then once you walk out the building, she'd be like, "Mike, you want to have breakfast?" "Bitch, you just cursed me out." And then we'd go eat breakfast and chill, and it'd be a whole nother thing. But once you walked in that studio, it was a whole, I've never been in an environment like that. And I've never been as sharp as I was. The only way I can be what I am now is developing in that studio in those years and being able to really create stuff. Like Evie said, out of nothing. Like we would drive into work late on a turnpike, pouring rain, and we'd be talking back and forth, and I would say something to Jones, and she'd tell me to shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. You're going to say that on the radio, and you're going to say it just like that. Just like that. Trust me. Just say what you said. Say your opinion. I'll take it from there. And then, Envy will know what to do with it. So just now keep driving. Now we got to be in quiet. Now I'm pressured because I'm like, I got to reenact this shit perfectly. But it was an amazing time.
And you did. And you did. And we did. And guys, I'm not even going to be tough. Thank you. I love you. Thank you so much. Then thank you for understanding.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for taking the ball and running with it, because I think that now I may be able to get an opportunity to be who I am, because now they're allowing Black women to be that. But back then I was, I guess, ahead of my time. And so while Howard Stern and Rush Limbaugh and all those others were able to, get bonuses based on that same energy that I carried, nobody wants a loud mouth, type A, opinionated Black chick on the air. Nobody did. So I got it. And then, they like blacklist you and, whatever. But you guys kept it alive. So I'm gonna need 10%, niggas. You gotta go to the casino.
Fucking casino, boy. That casino is gonna be the death
The
of me,
casino
man.
is the devil.
Oh my God. Cause man, listen, them Monday mornings when me and Envy and Jay Black and we would sit there and wonder if you was coming in on that Monday. And we was wondering if the chick was at AC, and I was like, we look at the clock. At a certain time, you knew there was a deadline. There was a certain time when they hit the clock, we was like, all right. And Envy would huddle up. Jay, we'd all huddle up and be like, yo, okay, we're going to carry this. And poor Envy would always have to be the lead. All I got to do is be funny. Envy got to crack the mic and be the lead. I said, go ahead, homie, go ahead. It's DJ, and the same exact thing that you do in the Breakfast Club, that was your intro. You was like, it's DJ Envy. I'm like, all right, Envy, rock with it. I got you. I'll co-sign. Just go ahead. She'll be here. No, she won't. No, she won't.
So thank me for missing a lot of Mondays. Thank you for that. No, you guys really, you make me feel good. You make me feel proud. You know what it feels like to, I don't know. I guess, because I'm not the type of person that goes around and says, you owe me for that time I did this, or you owe me for that time I did that. But then sometimes after like a certain amount of years, you're like, does anybody remember? Does anybody care if I'm okay? Or, and I think that's a strong woman thing. People think that we're so strong that we never need help, or that if we needed it, we would ask. But all I know is I'm so thankful and I'm so grateful that I happened to be watching that show that day. And I'm so thankful that you guys sent that message. And actually, before that, I did a interview with Rob Love. Rob Love is a record guy from the industry, guys. And he asked me to do an interview on his podcast. This was like my first interview since I left in 2008. And after the interview, Rob said that Envy, that you reached out to him and said you heard the interview, that it was awesome. And I was like, okay, I don't know if that's an olive branch. I don't know. And I didn't necessarily respond. But then God said, all right, dummy, I'm going to send you another hint. And the next day I saw the thing with Gia and I was like, okay, it's okay to call. Like it's love.
Absolutely. So for people that don't know, how did the Miss Jones in the Morning Show get started? Like, how was that? How did it happen?
So I was in Philly and I was on 1039 The Beat. And that's where Jay Black, who's here, produced my show, and Michael Shawn used to do nights there. And oh, how deep do I go, Envy? How deep? So I got pregnant, and then all right, you might be wanting to go back to Philly. Watch your mouth. And so then things happened, and so I got fired like in the middle of the week. It was really sudden, but that day that I got fired, Wendy got word of it, Wendy Williams, and she went over the air and was like, Jonesy, if you're listening, come on my show this afternoon and dish. Come back home. Come back home. And then I went to New York that afternoon, and on my way to do BLS, I like everybody was talking about it. Miss Jones is going to be on talking about why she got fired. Because remember, back then when you got fired, you got escorted out the building and you never got a chance to tell the world what happened. That is just how radio was. And they did it by design because they didn't want anybody kicking dirt on the radio station. So when they walked me out the building and Wendy said, come on, come on my station, which is the competing station in Philly, come kick the dirt from here. I went to her station, and on my way there, my old boss from Hot 97, Tracy, she called and was like, Jonesy, I know you're going to be on Wendy, but come to my house after. I went to her house after, and she asked me to sit in for a week on the show. So when I got to New York to sit in for the week, Envy was there. Envy and I knew each other from when I had left from Philly because he used to fill in for me on my Sunday night countdown show a lot. So he pulls me to the side because I'm like not knowing. I didn't know who Miss Info was. I didn't know who Donnell Rollins was. I don't even was Donnell there when I got there?
No, I don't think so. Nope.
It was definitely Miss Info.
Yep.
And I didn't know. Envy pulled me to the side and he gave me the little rundown of what was going on. He was like, you know, they're gonna hire you to be full time. And I was like, no, they're not. They're probably gonna look at a lot of people. And he said, no, they are. And when they do, don't let them bastards pay you less than they're paying Joe Buttons. Because all that nigga does is fall asleep under the console. Tracy has to come in here and literally sit next to him and read every break with him. So don't take no short money. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was right. Because after I did that week, they called me that afternoon and said, how'd you like to come back home? And I'm like, not unless you're going to pay me more than you're paying that asshole that falls asleep underneath the console. No.
Let's go.
And then I was back, and thank you for that, Envy, because that was loyalty. You didn't know me. I could have went back and said, Envy told me that, and I didn't, but you didn't have to put yourself on the line. So I appreciate the loyalty. You've always been loyal.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Most people don't know, like Joe was the one that they hired to do the morning show, and Joe's manager, Webb, who I'm cool with, who gave me actually like, yo, I want you to do this with him. You know what I mean? Because he's not a radio personality. And Joe didn't want to do radio at the time. He would be sleeping under the console. He would take a 30-minute smoke break. He didn't take it serious. So they would bring in Joe, Miss Jones in. And I heard they tried to lowball her. Like, why are you lowballing her? Because she's a black woman? Because what? I'm like, nah. So I pulled her to the side. I said, look, this is what I heard homie's getting. So don't take no less than that. Just so you know. But you ain't hearing from me. And she got what she was. And I mean, and well deserved. And they tried to get me out of, and I'm not gonna lie, this is one thing when they gave Jones the job, most people would be like, I'm just happy to be there. They tried to get rid of me at least 3 times. They wanted it to be Miss Jones, Cypher Sounds, and Rosenberg.
No,
Like,
Flex wanted it to be. Flex wanted Cypher in there,
mhm,
and I get it. That's his boy, and that's a big spot. But I did not know Cypher, and then even when remember they brought him in. Didn't we do like a run?
yep.
It was very Tay. You were there, right?
I was there at this time. Yeah, I was there when you got there.
And it was very the. It was he was like I was saying things, and he was like I felt like he was like just judging
Mhm.
or
Mm.
like
It's about the energy, and the energy didn't click like it did with you and Envy and you and Michael Shawn, and even with Donnell Rollins. It was in the beginning.
But I told Tracy, I said, if this is my show, let me pick who I want on my show. And Envy's fine. Like, what is the problem? I didn't know that Flex was back there in her ear trying to get his person in the Okay, for everybody out there, morning show is the biggest day part of a radio station's programming.
Mhm.
There's more money involved. There's more pull. There's more opportunities involved. So if you get a spot on a morning show, you're going to have streams of income coming in. You start the day off. So what you say is what people hear on their way to work or to school. And that is what they live with until afternoon drive, which is the next biggest part of the day
Mhm.
programming. And then you listen to Angie or Wendy or whomever. And then you say, okay, well, Joan said this morning. Angie's saying that, or Wendy's saying that. Boom, boom, boom. And then comes the night part. So for Flex to be owning nights, and he was, wouldn't it be grand for him to own nights and mornings?
Mhm.
So what I
Right.
do, I put my person in mornings, and then I control the narrative in the morning. So when Jones goes hard on Fat Joe, I got
Mhm.
Cypher there to cool it down, and then I control the nights, and I get it. That was brilliant, but wasn't happening on my watch
Mhm.
because Envy was loyal. That's all it took for me.
Mhm.
Can
When
I
I walked in, you told me what it was, and that was it. So I got your back. What, Tay?
So I want to thank Envy for that. Right. I wasn't a part of the conversation, but as a Black woman, I appreciate hearing that a Black man did that on behalf of a Black woman.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew about that conversation back then, but like to hear it now, it really just warmed my heart, because as a Black woman, we get slighted, we get less paid than white men and white women. And so
Mm.
for you to use your influence was phenomenal. So I thank you for
Thank
that.
you, Envy.
Yeah, no, I mean, what most people don't know is I didn't do it. Right now it's the cool thing to do, right? You gotta protect Black women, and
Uh-huh.
I just did it because Jones was a good person. She was from Queens, and she was nice. Like, you don't meet people that nice. And to see the thing with Jones, what people don't understand is she says that I'm loyal. She was loyal. You know what I'm saying? No
Mhm.
matter what it was. And that's what most people don't do. Like, I talk about real estate and teaching people how to do real estate, but Jones taught me how to do radio. Like, you don't know how many times when somebody says, yo, I got this for Envy, I'll be like, nah, I know you got more money than that. The only reason I know that is because Jones was the queen of that. They'll come and be like, yo,
Real talk.
I got
Tell
five,
them Envy.
I got $5,000 for Jones to do something. Jones will be like, I need 10,000. And if you don't give me the 10,000, I'm gonna go around you and speak to them myself. So just do what you want to do. I'm like, that's
The
not gonna work.
poison.
They'll be like, all right, we give it to her. I'm like, oh shit, like this is great. But she knew radio, and she knew how to handle clients. She knew how to handle artists.
Yeah.
She didn't let nobody bully her. And that's things that most people don't. And one thing I said, one thing that Jones says that always stuck with me is these industry motherfuckers are not your friends. And to that point, I live by that. I don't care what you think about me. You're not paying my bills, because if I'm off this radio, you don't fuck with me anyway. And that's
Exactly.
something that I live by when it comes to whatever I do. Like, you motherfuckers ain't my friends. You
Yeah.
prepare to be, but you're not.
Two things. Number one, Josie, when Envy said you would demand more money, I've been there in them situations with her when she's demanding more money. Shit made me cringe, because it'd be like 5,000. She'd be like 10,000. I said, start at 7,500. Why we gotta jump right to 10,000? Why do we gotta go straight to 10,000? And
The
then
minimum bet at the table that night.
the minimum bet was gonna be that. And then the other thing, when Jones, when you said Envy told you about the inside situation, what was going on, how they were gonna try and short you, it's so funny. I swear, Envy came out the womb in the inner circle. Like Envy always knows the inner circle.
Always there hustling.
He's connected. He's the plug.
He was the plug in the second grade. Like he knew where the good blocks were at. Like he knew.
That's so true. That's so true. All right, so the makeup of our show, Envy would come in the morning and tell us all the shit that went down the night before. Because as hard as it was for him to get up in the morning, he still was in those clubs every night. And then he would sleep in the office and get up and do it all again. But he would run down, oh, so-and-so ain't coming. He got shot last night. But Jonesy, please don't bring that up on air. Or so-and-so got robbed. Or so, like he would tell us the whole, like we knew. Envy, you gave us the edge. Like we knew.
Oh, Envy was our Instagram. Like Envy was our social media. Like we had, and he was like, "Yo, he can't come. The people who are running money from him won't let him come." I'm like, "Word." Like I was watching a movie, listening to Envy because I was not running the streets because I am not a street runner. So I would live through Envy's stories. But he knew everything.
He knew everything, and he knew everybody, and they all loved him. So he was able to do the clubs, come to the morning show, and then go work at his office. Remember, he worked with Jermaine Dupri?
Yeah.
Never slept. No one has work ethic like him. So when you created the Breakfast Club, I knew already. I knew with the shit you already had within you and the stuff you learned along the way, I knew you guys would take off, and I knew you had the temperament. See, I don't know if I had the temperament. I didn't get the shot anyway because loudmouth women, nobody really wants to be bothered with that. But a loudmouth man, not that Charlamagne's a loudmouth man, but he's an opinionated man, that sells all day. So, but I knew that you would win. I knew that you would. And congratulations.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Still need my cut, nigga. I still need my cut.
No, she wants to cut. But I just want to say the funny thing about you and Envy, Jonesy and Envy, because they're in the business, anytime we had an artist that would come in the studio, it was judgmental time. Like y'all would judge the shit out of these people. So like, and then y'all would have a conversation. It would be real quick. We done an interview and the person was out of there and y'all would look at each other and y'all be like, not a star, not a star. No, not a star. You know who y'all said this about? Can I say it? Can I say who you? Is it a red light? No, it's not a red light. This person's not important. This person's not important.
Damn it, man.
I should have said that.
You know I don't care.
Fuck it.
Man, you gotta say it now.
The dude who sang this song, I'm gonna put you to bed. You remember the dude?
Jay Holiday? Jay Holiday, yep.
Jay Holiday came in and y'all was like, because the song was hot. Like the song was hot. Everybody was like, yo, the song is great.
But did he come in with sunglasses on?
And a t-shirt. And when we got done, I was just chilling. I already had a little bit of vodka with me. I was good. Once he walked out, y'all looked at each other like,
hold that thought. Jalen or Che, bring the vodka. Go ahead. Carry on. Let me text him because I know he didn't hear me.
And once he left, y'all two were like, not a star. Y'all were like the first American Idol, not a star, not a star. And I'm sitting there going like, yeah, but the song is so good. And Envy was adamant. He was like, nah, he ain't got you here on the morning show. You're supposed to come with some type of personality. I said, damn, let me take another shot because they judging. Let me take another.
But no, you know why? Because we like say what you want. We could call hits.
Yes.
You did. You did. Yep.
We could call hits. And Envy was in the club, so he would see street reaction even before the records made it to the morning show, because ordinarily, morning show was the last place that would get your stuff. You had to work it up through K-Slay. Hopefully, you get Coco Chanel and them to play it, and then maybe Flex or drop a bomb. And then if it's sustained, then it's prime time. Angie gives it a spin, and then it comes to morning. But at that point, it didn't matter because if we didn't like it, still, we don't care how many bombs was dropped on it.
We're not playing it.
We're not playing it, or we're going to talk over it while it's playing.
You know what? Yeah. I always wanted to know where you got, I don't want to call it the balls, but the balls to be able to talk about somebody on air and then say it to their face. Right? Yeah. because you never backed down. You never got scared. You never said this person might punch me in my eye, or this person might slap me or cut my car, my tire in my car.
Yeah.
The one I remember, and I was like, there's no way Jones is gonna say anything to this person. You know what I'm talking about?
Was it a person or was it a mother or was it a person?
Both. Beyonce and her mother. Now this was before Beyonce was dating Jay-Z.
Do we need to take a commercial break?
Yeah, we take a commercial break.
Take a commercial break and we'll come back and tell you more about that.
And this crazy story is brought to you by Sarah Brown's Catering. Sarah Brown's Catering will help you down on your next event, whether Mother's Day is coming around the corner, Valentine's Day, or anything else. Sarah Brown's Catering.
We love Sarah Brown's Catering. And you know they have a new location up in Martha's Vineyard, Oaks Bluffs. Yes.
Nice.
Nice.
So we're going to throw up Sarah Brown Catering's information. Big shout out to Ken and his new fiance. We're going to throw up their information so you can call or email. Say, oh, you brought the vodka. You brought the... Thank you, my son. Thank you, my firstborn.
Damn, John, right. you be making sobriety hard. God damn.
Sorry, Mike. Oh, and sorry, Sarah Brown. Yes, a lovely place for cuisine.
I tell you, I'm not broadcasting from your house.
Not yet. Okay. Once those checks start coming in, I'm going to buy you a low alcohol blood level. Okay, Envy, I'm ready. Tell them the story.
I want to know how you have the balls and see, and sometimes this is when you try to do what your parent tries to do or your big sister try to do, and we get in trouble. So I want you to explain the story of when Beyonce and Miss Knowles came to the radio station, right? Me and you were there, what you said, what they said, and then I'm going to say how me and Michael Shawn tried to do the same thing. And it almost got us fucked up.
Mike tells this story so much better than I, because he talks about the fans blowing as Beyonce was walking, and there are no fans, but he's like, but she was so fucking beautiful. The hair was just blowing and she's coming down the hallway. And they kept trying to rush me out that day. It was a Friday. And they're like, you still here? When you leave it? And I'm like, in a minute, but why are they rushing me out? Go ahead, Mike. Can you take it from there?
Let me just start. I'm outside the station and I'm smoking a Black and Mild. And Escalade pulls up. I'm on the phone with my fiance. And the door opens. And like you said, the wind blows. And I swear, music came on. It was like, dun, 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 dun. I said, it's Beyonce. And that's what I said on the phone. And Stacey was like, what do you say? I said, it's Beyonce. I gotta go. Then my second thought was like, oh shit, Jonesy's still in the building. So they scurried her up. And the thing was, I'm behind, the elevator doors closed, and I don't know if I should take that freight elevator or try and just get my way up there. By the time I get up there, Jonesy, you already had a confrontation. I think it's Miss Knowles hit you first or Beyonce hit you. Who hit you first? Who was the first person you saw? I think
Beyonce first. She tried to hug me. She was
Beyonce walked in first, yep.
Okay, yeah.
Walked in first. And did she know I was me, or did somebody in her team tell her that was me? Because I feel like they were trying to rush her by, and she stopped and turned around and tried to pull me in for a hug. But I was like, I don't do the hug thing. And I shook her hand. That was so bitchy of me, though.
But that was you for real.
Bitchy. Yeah, but I shouldn't have been that way.
I mean, you're not a hugger.
No, I would have hugged Beyonce. I should have. I was just mean. I'm sorry. Listen, we're all grown now. My bad. But we didn't have any words. Like she took the high road, and I went low. And then here comes Tina. Talking about, thank you for keeping my daughter's, or I hear you've been keeping my daughter's name in your mouth. And I said, I'm glad you could hear.
It was just like that, just that awkward. I'm sitting there, Beyonce gives everybody a hug, gives me a hug, gives everybody a hug, goes to Miss Jones. Miss Jones goes, Miss Jones did the COVID. Like, you know, when somebody got the
the COVID.
That was stupid of me.
Gave him the fist. So Beyonce said, all right. And then everybody went in and Tina Knowles came running and was like, thank you for keeping my daughter's name in your mouth. And it was like, quiet. So I was like, ooh. I was like, what's Jones gonna say now? Jones was like, what? I keep her name in my mouth when I want to. I say what I want to say. I don't bite my tongue for nobody.
And I said, I'll keep yours in my mouth when next week too, or something like that. Because I feel like regardless, parents you can't be fighting kids. Not that me and Beyonce were kids, but stay out of your kids' thing. But I was out of line because I shouldn't have taken the hug.
But in your defense, listen, we didn't know Beyonce was gonna be what Beyonce is now. Like we you know what I'm saying? Who knew it was gonna be a forever glow? We didn't know.
We had no idea. We had Keisha Cole. We thought that.
Yeah, she was up and down. Like like you know what I'm saying? Like Ashanti, she had her time, and they all normally come back to. We didn't know the glow was forever. We didn't know.
We had no idea. So
you would have hugged her.
I would have hugged you. I'll hug you. I'm doing an apology tour.
Yes.
First on my list. For my first stop, you and Jay. I'm gonna do a 2-in-1, please.
We got to. We didn't know Jay-Z was gonna be forever either. We didn't know he'd be in the White House with Obama and have a rule of the world. Who knew? We just thought it was reasonable doubt. You'd be a legend. Who
that
knew?
Was it. Brooklyn's finest, maybe.
Yeah, we're sorry.
And so Michael, Shawn, and I said it was a week later, and MC Hammer was coming up.
Oh,
and the day before, me and Michael Shawn wrote down all these jokes for MC Hammer because we know Miss Jones is going to ask for it. The next day, Miss Jones didn't come. And MC Hammer, this was when radio would be live. Like we would do interviews live. And Miss Jones is the reason why the dump button happened and most interviews are not live anymore. We'll explain that later.
Oh yeah, the dump button was created because of me.
That's right.
Not the delay, the dump button, right?
Yep, it created a dump button. So MC Hammer he lands and he's on his way to the station. So while he's on his way to the station, Michael, Shawn, and I are joking him the whole time. So he hears this on the radio. Oh, MC Hammer's coming. We're going to talk about how broke he is. How not he making up. Like we were going Jonesy style.
And we did the top 5 things that he lost all his money on. And the number one thing was he spent money on investigating who really killed Nicole Simpson. Like that was not good. Like we should.
And Tay, you let this happen? Were you there or was it Jay Black?
No, I was there.
It was Tay. No, that was Tay. She was the producer at that moment. And she laughed.
And my response was, if you don't do it, Jones is gonna cuss y'all asses out when she get back tomorrow.
So we did it.
I held the line.
So we did it. And MC Hammer walks in the door. I remember. And we said, Aaron Hammer, sit down. First he didn't want to sit down. And then he said something that stuck with me into this day that I'll never forget.
What did he say?
It's the countdown. Hit him, Emmy.
He goes, I'm here to test the coward's heart.
Yeah.
I said, what?
Yes.
I'm here to test the coward's heart.
Yeah.
What? And then he had this old guy with him with a duffel bag.
Yes.
And the old guy stood in front of the door and said, nobody's leaving.
We all looked at each other like this.
It got better. He said, but we still asses for this. He said, I see 3 easy knockouts. And we literally are counting. He's like, D, and you saying you gonna knock all us out? So the old man, like Envy said, was behind him and he looked scary, right? So like Envy said, he said to test the coward thing and everything like that. So I'm relying on Envy because Envy's connected. I said, I know nobody right now. Like,
but while we're still joking him though. He's like,
we're still joking him.
3 y'all out. We like, Hammer. He goes, what? Can't touch this.
Can't touch this.
Still going. We are still going. Don't hurt him, Hammer. Like we are still going.
But
what was he saying when you guys were still saying that? So you did do it in his face.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but but I was frightened. I mean, I'm just saying.
I was scared.
I was frightened. And then hold up. So then the awkward moment comes when the break is over, and we're doing 2 breaks. So now the awkward silence, right? He won't sit down, and he's like kind of close to me. Envy was always in his corner, and Envy always had his bag, his computer. I don't know what else was in the bag.
What was in that bag? This is back in the day. I can say it now. I used to carry a little tutu in my bag just in case of a situation like that. That was the old days.
Those of y'all that don't know what a tutu is, you better ask somebody.
Yes,
Go ahead.
So that's why I'm leaning on Envy because he got the bag. I don't have a bag, right? So
Always.
he
Envy always got the bag.
always got the bag in one way or another. So we're all sitting there quiet, and we all got our phones open, right? And I'm on my phone, Envy's on his phone, Shawnee's on his phone. So Hammer, I think, has realized that he's shot off at the mouth, but he's in New York. So he goes, oh, I guess y'all calling your people. I guess y'all calling your people. And I hope Envy was, because I was just playing a little video game on my phone. Playing Tetris on my phone. I was like, I hope Envy calling somebody, but I'm killing his Tetris right now.
And he was like, Hammer was like, y'all ain't gonna make it downstairs to call anybody. I'm like, Hammer's about to kill us on the radio.
Yo.
How did this end? Did management come in?
Ebro.
Mm-hmm.
Ebro knew MC Hammer from California.
And West Side.
And was like, yo, they joking. And Ebro called me, was like, yo, leave Hammer alone. Hammer's crazy. And Hammer calmed down. He ain't shaking none of our hands and walked out.
See, that damn Ebro. He's good for something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that California connection. We loved that Bay connection then, boy. I was like, thank
California. Insert California. Wow, what a story. There's so many. Remember Usher?
Oh, Usher. Oh,
That
Usher.
Do we have Usher? Do we please tell me somebody pulled the Usher interview? Can we take a listen?
I mean, you were the first one to break that whole album. I don't know how we got it first, but remember, we got the Confessions album first, and we broke that album. We played, I think, every song on the radio.
We did?
Yeah.
Which was no back then.
Yep. Jones did not follow directions or rules at all. Like nowadays, there's
never
a morning show has to play. Jones would be like, I don't want to hear that. Play before I let go. I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that.
I don't want to hear that. Play that. I'm like,
hold on, Envy. Remember when she got one of the writers, like, you know, morning shows, they got their power songs, no pun intended, power that they have to get played, that the world they claim loves. Jonesy got one of our writers to do a drop. And the drop just said, I really, really hate this fucking song. And she would play it over the hottest songs in the country. Like, I really, really hate this fucking song.
Remember.
Yo, and obviously we're working on a station that had Summer Jam. She's dropping them over Summer Jam, maybe artists. Maybe they can get them. Nah, you ain't getting them now because I really, really hate this fucking song.
Oh my gosh, man.
I said, what the fuck is going on?
But who let me? Who let us?
Nobody. But that was the one thing. Being a leader ain't as easy as everybody thinks it is. Everybody wants to be the leader. Everybody wants to be the front man or woman. But when the shit happens, when they come hunting us down, who's going to stand up? Or you going to be the one that everybody has nothing to say, and you would stand up. Even when we were dead fucking wrong, you would stand up and be like, listen, the team is doing what we're doing. We're trying to do good radio, and you guys are interfering with our good radio. We can't worry about your feelings and the artist's feelings and put on a great show in the morning. You guys got to decide what you want. You want to be nicey with these fucking artists, or you want good radio? And I'd be like, go get him, Jones. But you know we was fucking wrong. And I'll leave that, you know, we was wrong as shit, but go get him, girl.
As the producer, I used to get the shit, but I didn't say nothing. I just let it get the shit. You take the shit and you get back in the studio and we get back to doing what we do.
Well, you know, because at the end of the day, we were bringing in the numbers. And we were the ones who were on the line. So if anybody was going to step to somebody, they was going to catch Envy in the club, catch me on the way in or out. Big shout out to Wendy's ex-husband, Kevin, or the comedy show. So, you know, it was all to the good, guys.
It was.
And we're grown now.
We're grown. Come on. It's COVID. We've been through a lot. Come on. We over it. But that Kevin shit, I'll never be over that because I saw that shit in the paper. That was the realest thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never been part of a news story.
Wait, don't even wait. Hold that. Because
I'll hold it. I'll hold
do a quick shout out to Sarah Brown Caterers, the official sponsor of the Miss Jones in the Morning Show reunion. We love you, Ken. They've got a new location in Martha's Vineyard for all you bougie. and we'll have their number and their email address. We're gonna throw that up for you. Check them out. Give them a call. They've catered my Christmas dinners, my Thanksgiving dinners, Envy's Easter dinners. Check them out. Sarah Brown Caterers. Thank you. Do we have the usher? I want to go to usher. That was hilarious. Let's take a listen. Okay. So before we get to the usher interview, I got to plug my Instagram page. It's I am the official Miss Jones. And if you need to email questions or comments, you can email us at the Miss Jones Project at gmail.com and Mrs. MISS Jones Project at gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. It's been a long time. Okay. All right. Let's get into this usher interview. Wow. A blast from our past.
Usher, how you doing? You there?
Hey, no, it's Jessica actually, but I've got Usher on the line. You want to hang on just 1 second? Is this Miss Jones?
Yes.
All right, hang on 1 sec.
Automatic line.
Usher?
Yo.
All right, go right ahead. I've got Miss Jones on the phone.
Usher, good morning.
Miss Jones.
Hey, Usher.
What up?
How you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. You just got married? I just got married. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I saw you in the
I'm so happy to hear you say something positive for a change.
Because your representative told me that I can't say what I want to say. So let's keep it on the fragrance.
Unless you would allow us.
Unless you would allow us.
Nah, because I can't say what I want to say.
Yes, you can. You can. You can. And Ebro's out of town. Come on.
Nah, I wouldn't do that to you.
Come on, do it to me.
Easy, you're married.
I know, right?
I like that, stupid. All right, so ask him about the fragrance.
All right, let's talk about this fragrance. We tried out Diddy's fragrance, and it smelled like a man. How does your fragrance smell?
You said it smells like a man?
He has a fragrance for women, but I said it smells more like it's for men.
Oh, okay, no. Actually, well, fortunately, I released the men's and the females. So you get a little bit of both.
What was the inspiration?
The inspiration for the women's fragrance was I wanted to do something a little bit more mature, sophisticated. I wanted to make sure that, that the woman that wore it, she felt she had somewhat of an individuality in a sense. Some people like more sweeter tones. When you smell the fragrance, it starts off a little bit more sweet. When you get to the heart of the fragrance, a little bit more depth. Woody tones.
Damn it! Why you called off the wedding and then married her again? I want to know.
Usher?
Guys, we really have to stick to the fragrance. I'm very sorry.
So how much is the fragrance, Usher?
How much is it, Usher?
How much is the fragrance in stores?
You crazy, man.
Usher, on the real, I'm actually almost related to you.
It's like we fronting because he wants to say stuff. I want to say stuff.
I'm almost related to him.
When is the fragrance in stores, Usher?
The fragrance is actually already in stores. I got a special appearance that I'm doing at Macy's at Herald Square. I'll be there from 7:30 to 9:30.
Now, is this the setup for the album?
No, it's not a setup for an album. This is a setup for a fragrance. As I just said, it's a personal appearance at Herald Square at Macy's. It's from 7:30 to 9:30.
When is the album coming? Or is one coming soon?
I've been working on it for like the last year. It should be finished hopefully in the next week or so. But don't have a definite date of release. When it's time for you to hear the record, I'll make sure that y'all the first to get it.
About the fragrance, guys.
All right, that's all we can talk about. Can we talk about people trying to compare Justin Timberlake to you and saying he's
about the fragrance, Michael Shawn?
Maybe he'll answer that.
Have you heard people saying JT's taking your spot? He's the man now. Does that annoy you? People say he dances better than you. He's got a better live show, and I've heard this all over the place.
That's too bad that he's not releasing a fragrance, and that I am. So,
Usher, I know your family from Tennessee. You know Aaliyah? That's my fiance's cousin.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you remember Aaliyah. You know our family. They know you.
Oh, yeah?
I'm just trying to break the ice, Usher. Did she sign the prenup before you got married? Did she sign the prenup?
That's what I want to know. That's what people want to know.
Y'all motherfuckers funny.
At least we got to lie.
I mean, we want to know because everybody went to the Hamptons. Like, I got my invitation. I made my busy schedule.
You
Me
didn't
and
get
Joe.
no invitation?
Shut the hell up. And then you cancel it, and then I got kids. And then you go get married in a lawyer's office.
Yo, do you know me, man?
I know you.
We feel like we do.
Like you don't know me, because apparently you wouldn't even approach me like this if you did.
Wait, he's asking you a question. It was all in the
You
newspapers.
didn't ask me a question about why I called.
No. We asked you a question about what we want to know and what your fans want to know.
Yeah, but guys, we're here to do an interview about the fragrance.
Jessica, mind your business.
We're talking about the personal appearance at Macy's.
Jessica, why aren't you married? You want to do an interview, Jessica?
Do you want to marry Usher? Is that why you're mad? Is that why we can't ask questions, Jessica?
This is all because of you. It has nothing to do with Usher. You're a jealous. You're the one who doesn't.
We're just playing. Stop it. Shut up. Usher will be at Macy's Herald Square.
Ignorance.
It's
Y'all
bliss.
ignorant, man.
We just playing, Usher.
Y'all ignorant.
Like,
lighten up. Come on.
Playing. You're a superstar.
I
Like,
know,
God
but
has
y'all
blessed you.
ignorant. You're ignorant. It's all right.
But good luck with the fragrance. Ladies and gentlemen, Usher.
Classic. Oh my.
Yo.
Envy. I was cringing back to that.
Yo, I just want everybody to know, right? Because y'all not behind the scenes. This is before we had cameras. So Jones is like, you know, when you go to the orchestra and somebody's telling the band what to do. So Jones is pointing at Michael Shawn, and then when Michael Shawn asks, she tells me, Envy, ask more about the fragrance. Then she stops. She goes back to Michael Shawn. Right back and forth.
She was conducting that shit. That's right. I can remember.
Hold on. Michael Shawn, hold on. It was, oh my God.
Because we still had to get Usher's business. Like he was still there to promote a cologne.
Yep.
Like at the end of the day, we can laugh and giggle, but let everybody make their money because we are like blessed with Usher coming on our show. But all right, enough of your promotion, nigga. We need answers.
But you know what, Jones? The more like I was embarrassed. Like I really, if I saw Usher, I would apologize. Like I really like that should be part of our apology tour. Like I think Usher should be added to the apology tour.
Envy, what you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And when you saw him after that, did he ever mention that to you?
Nah, you know what? I think a lot of times people don't want to go back there, so they don't never mention like I'm sitting here like, yo, did I say Diddy's fragrance smell like a man?
No, you really did. You said it casually. You didn't even say it like you was like it is what it is.
And
He's making women smell like men.
Fact, right? He makes a woman smell like a man. And I think I saw like a red light flashing. Did he call just now when you?
You might have called.
Michael Shawn, how did Jessica get in the middle of this? She
we
became a jealous bitch.
Jessica's on the tour too.
But she was a middle woman. She should have known to stay out of fire. Like we was just trying. We was trying to do our thing. But my point with Usher, if you have a wedding and you cancel it, and then you have this shit in a lawyer's office, and then you do the #1 morning show in New York, how do you think we're not going to ask about the shit? Now, we didn't do it the right way. I'm not saying we did it the right way.
Because you know what? Artists are used to going, big artists of that status were used to going on radio shows, and the radio shows were just so happy to have them there that they would be mum, and they wouldn't. And they would just act like, no. That's what made us great, guys. Give it up for our greatness.
That was classic.
We used to put it all on the line. Because we probably got in trouble. Did we get in trouble after that?
I'm sure.
But we didn't care because we gave the people what they want.
What they want. That sounded like a Friday morning interview. I'm not sure, but I
talking
think
about Mimosa Fridays?
Yes,
Mimosa
I think
Fridays.
that was Mimosa Friday.
That sounds like a Mimosa Friday.
When you hear us say the word reunion, make sure you take a sip in the spirit of Andy Cohen, right? Yeah, take a sip of whatever you got.
Word.
That was good. And obviously I haven't seen Usher. I don't think he came through Philly, but you know who did? Janet Jackson. But you might have been there with me. So Michael Shawn was never hired to be on Power 99, but when he left his job at 103.9, I like let him come on every day.
No. Let me tell you what this lady did. She said, Mike, come on, I'm going to interview you as a comedian. You got any shows coming? I said, yeah, I got this one show. So let's say it was a Tuesday. So I went on Tuesday and I was on the show every day for like 2 weeks, and they would sneak me in because I didn't have a key to get in. They cracked the back door open.
Eddie F would crack. Eddie F is now Envy's producer. Look at this. And EF would crack the door open for Michael Shawn to come in and let himself in, and he would sit and co-host with me and rock out.
Let me just say one more thing about that. This is how ridiculous it was, Envy. You know, Power, every station had their big concert. Like y'all have Powerhouse and Summer Jam and all that. I'm not an employee. I'm not even supposed to be in the studio. Why am I on stage with Jonesy at the concert? And she's like, give it up for you know who you heard on so-and-so, Michael Shawn. I'm like, yeah, it's good. I have no paperwork. I have no paperwork.
And the crowd went wild, right?
Yes, ma'am. Oh,
that was it. Yeah, that's why I say that station. I don't know. But those were the days. Guys, I'm so thank you, Sarah Brown Caterers, for making this all possible. Guys, make sure you take a look at their email address and their website and choose them to cater your next special event. They have a new establishment up in Martha's Vineyard in Oaks Bluffs, Sarah Brown Caterers. And I don't know. It's a lot. It's a lot. Like, it's triggering. All right, so I have a confession to make, and y'all can get mad now and decide not to come. So, because I want this thing to last and perhaps go beyond the initial 5 episodes that I had planned, but I know we might still have some stuff. I reached out to Dr. Jeff for him to fix our show's life. Now, granted, that wasn't his show, or was it his brand?
What?
But Ayana was busy and her show is not taping anymore. So, being the producer, you know, you guys said I'm great at this. I went for what I knew. And he said he's going to come and join us.
That's dope.
Dr. Jeff. Are you in for real?
Wow.
Dr. Jeff. Oh, wow.
That shit was his fault, by the way.
Okay. What she's referring to is, go ahead, research.
Is this a Reddit moment? Should we not go there?
I don't know. Envy is about the tsunami song, because if Dr. Jeff hadn't come in at 8 o'clock when he was supposed to come in and said, I didn't hear it, can you play it again? Nobody would have even heard it.
So let me, in true Jonesy in the morning fashion, we're going to blame this motherfucker just for requesting to hear some of the material that was played on the show. He just happened to be a fan.
They blame me, and I wasn't even in the studio. I was home in Willenboro, and they blame me. So shit, why not? But look, guys, we made Dr. Jeff like a star. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know and just grew up and saw him on Love and Hip Hop and Basketball Wives and all these other shows, before Dr. Jeff, I won't say the only reason. Part of the reason why these shows reached out to Dr. Jeff is because he was a regular on Miss Jones in the Morning with us.
Right.
That's right.
So I was asking CNN.
So when I texted him, he was all in. Envy, Mike, he was going, I'm in there like Vladimir. I'm in there like swimwear. I'm in there like, I said, enough.
At least we know you got in touch with the real Dr. Jeff. At least we know that.
So are you guys okay with that? So he can help us fix our stuff.
Absolutely.
Does anybody have stuff? Like, do y'all have stuff with us? Like, is there stuff within us?
Oh, you mean stuff within us? Like issues within us?
Yeah, he's going to fix our show's life. Like, you know, fix my life. So it's fix our show's life.
Oh, okay.
I mean, we can find some stuff.
There's always stuff to be found.
He can fix your life.
Okay. Or in true Jonesy fashion, we could flip it and ask him to give us details about Shani and Basketball Wives and what it was like to be on Love and Hip Hop. You know, I'll make a topic. You know, I can get this popping. I got angles for days.
I think either one would be fun. You know, he can ask some questions and see if, you know, we got, you know, I know I got some issues that, that were brought about this show. This show helped increase my issues, but I love y'all, but I probably wouldn't have been in rehab so much if I hadn't fucked with y'all. But listen,
I can't even think of that.
We got to talk about. I mean, I look forward to this each and every week so we can talk about this as part of my therapy. I think. I mean, Before we leave, I just want to say one thing, and we'll tell it some other time. You know, me and Michael Shawn used to go to a gay bar every day after the show, and didn't know the gay bar.
Okay, red light, red light,
Okay.
red light.
Wait a
light.
second. We're not gonna just put that headline out there. Wait a second. I need y'all to hear the end part. He said,
thank you guys for joining us this week.
No, we can't leave it like that. No.
Yo, you're going too far.
We look forward to answering any questions you might have about that. Next week, you can catch us on Instagram. Guys, give up your IG addresses and all that stuff.
Oh shit. My IG address, I am not gay. Hit me at I am not at Mike Shawn Comedy. Hit me at Mike Shawn Comedy on the IG. Next.
Mine is at DJ Envy.
You know I love a cliffhanger. I am the official Miss Jones.
And at I am J Black _.
Mine's is private, sorry.
Oh man, here she go. Where's Dr. Jeff? Fix her life.
Fix her life, yes.
Yo, fix her life.
First session.
And you know what? Wait. Go ahead. Give your social media handle, Shani.
Yeah, I'm Shani Culture. SHANI Culture with a K.
I want to say something real quick that we've not addressed. Jay Black became our producer when Tay left. And the two of them have never met each other, so they're on here now. And
first time I'm saying, "Hey, nice to meet you." I'm like, "Hey,
I've never even been introduced to each other." So next week we'll introduce y'all.
Because I got some producer stories and trouble she put me through that I need to get off my chest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she put me in some. Yes, so we shall see.
Okay.
We shall talk.
This is awkward.
Yeah, you did it, Jones. She looking like I don't know now. Yeah, you always put me in bad situations. Absolutely.
Do I hear a bloopers tape coming?
On the low, behind the scenes, y'all didn't see it. Tay and Jay Black were trying to outproduce each other and shit.
What in the world?
Producer competition.
Tay was like, "I think the settings in the back are bad." Jay was like, "No, I'm more worried about the audio." I said, "These motherfuckers are verses."
My goodness.
That's good. Thanks. Are we rapping, guys? Are we good?
Never can say goodbye.
Remember that?
What was your thoughts on it real quick though? What was your thoughts on Wendy? We didn't talk anything about the Wendy movie.
Oh, right. So my thoughts, well, I got personal thoughts because her husband Kevin tried to have me murdered. And Envy, I remember you came to the studio the next week and said, "Oh, by the way, Kevin said, don't believe that. It was all a lie." And I was like, "Wait, what? How is it just going away like that?" But I don't appreciate that whole, he always took it too far. I like that in the movie, or at least the documentary, I liked watching Wendy not break down, but break it down while breaking down. I like that she doesn't blame Charlemagne for introducing Kevin to that chick for that purpose. But I want to know from you, Envy, how does Charlemagne feel about being positioned in the movie that way?
He didn't see it. He said he didn't watch the movie. But he wasn't in the movie. It wasn't in a bad light. I mean, they asked him who that girl is. He was like, "That's my homegirl from South Carolina that met him." And he wasn't really in it. He was in it when they did the interviews. But the doc, I know he was supposed to be in the doc after it when they were talking about the show. And
the doc was the shit.
Yeah, he pulled himself out of it. So he shot it, and I guess he just didn't want to do it. He didn't want to be a part of it anymore. I don't know what made him change. He just said, "Yo, take me out of it," and he did that like 5-6 months ago, and they didn't take him out of it. So he had to use some muscle to make sure he got taken out of it. When I mean muscle, I mean the lawyers.
Wow.
Yeah, he just didn't want to be a part of it. So I don't know what their relationship is or where they stand now. But he was just like, I just don't want to be a part of it, and he didn't want to. But that was pretty much with Charlemagne. He didn't see it. He didn't discuss it. He don't really, they go back and forth about how they feel about each other. So, but I just
do they speak at all?
I think they spoke once or twice when she finally divorced Kev and left Kev, and I think they had a conversation outside of that. But Kev and Charlemagne don't get along. Kev has done things to try to ruin Charlamagne's career and throw monkey wrenches in certain things. So they will never get along. Like that's Charlamagne's trigger. He don't fuck with Kev. Like he don't fuck with is like that's how he feels towards Kev. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was good. I thought there was a lot that she left out that I think everybody knows about. You know, and even when we interviewed the guy that played Kevin, he said they left a lot of stuff out. Like they left the physical abuse out. So they didn't.
Thank you. I was trying to get Skeletor to come with it. I said, I know you saw a shake or a shiver or a snatch. I witnessed a snatch in front of the jewelry store in Philly. Remember the jewelry store, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
The one on the corner?
Yep. 8th and Chestnut. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He got out my car, went into the jewelry store, and Wendy had been waiting for him, but she came over and was like, Jonesy, and we were talking. He was still in the store. That he came out and said, hurry the fuck up. The fuck this, get your motherfucker. She was like, oh my God, Jonesy, I gotta go. And he yanked her up real quick. I witnessed that. So do I still have to say allegedly?
No, not if you witnessed it.
Not if you witnessed it.
Yeah, not if you witnessed it. But it was some of the things like, at first watching it, because I know Kev from the clubs, from the streets and seeing him around, at first I'm like, all the stuff that they say about Kev is a lie because he's a nice guy. He's caring and compassionate, and he wants it. Like at the first part of the Wendy Williams thing, I'm like, Kev's a nice guy. Well, like, what the fuck happened? You know what I mean? So it was weird seeing it, but she got her story out. So
and he got $10 million allegedly.
Mm-hmm. But I can't wait next week when we talk about how they allegedly tried to put a hit out on you. So
we'll save that for the next episode.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many stories to tell. I still can't get over that. Like I replayed in my mind, I could literally not be here.
Yep.
I wonder if there's an opportunity for me to sue one of them. There's an angle.
It's always an angle. It's not about how blessed you are to be here and breathe.
Still alive.
And how amazing life is in this amazing reunion where your family members are back. No, it's always like, if I call a lawyer, you think I can get this motherfucker for? I'll tell you one thing. The day that threat came out, we was on the morning show. I'm not going to say a lot. I'm just going to say this. I had a comedy show. And there was a hit out on Jonesy. And Jonesy said, I think I'm going to stop by a comedy show. And it was the first time in my mind. I was like, I think you should just go home. There's no need for us to both be in danger. There's no need for us both. Like, somebody got to still be on the morning show. Like,
somebody got to live to tell the story.
Yeah.
Always save the show. On that note, guys, let's wrap it up. I love y'all. I'll see y'all next week.
Right.
And everybody, thank you for watching. Once again, thank you to our sponsor, Sarah Brown Caterers. We'll have their information listed for you. They have a new location in Oak Bluffs in Martha's Vineyard. Check them out. You can get at me on Instagram at IamTheOfficialMissJones.com or Facebook at the Miss Jones Morning Show, The Reunion. Guys, I love y'all. I miss y'all.
Miss you back.
Yeah, miss you back home, girl.
Yes.
All right. So next week, right?
Yeah,
next week.
All right, guys.
All right.
Peace.